out, play to contain, take another expand, hopefully try to stay ahead in this game and maybe win this off.
Yeah, we do see, looking at the worker count, that is actually fairly close. But looking at the income tab, it is a mile away because there's a lot of workers just sitting in Google's base doing nothing. It might be a little bit frazzled right now in this game. And Imidri's army is quickly getting massively ahead of Google.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, it's just the fact that Google is just doing so well right now. He's just, and there's an attack. Why don't you take over for a second?
There's a big attack coming in here, but of course many of these zealots are sitting in the back, unable to get forward into the attack. But it does look like Imidri is doing significant amounts of damage, but it looks like Google is going to be able to hold this off. Lots of reinforcements getting warped in, and Imidri backs off. He is running away, but of course these charge lots are going to start chasing him down. And Google just pushing back, taking out a ton of units, and Google is in commanding position right now, doing absolutely massive amounts of damage to this army. Of course, that +1 upgrade and the charge, very, very crucial, as well as the position of that fight. And he just takes it to Imidri, doing massive damage, like I said, crushing this attack in commanding fashion.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we just saw he just like burst out of there, and he just kind of took this game he just took the game by the handle. Do you see? Hopefully, he'll bring out a third Nexus so he can get that income back up. He does have. I think he moved down those probes into the natural right now. However, he does not want to mine out his natural too quickly, which is why I suggested he gets Nexus up. However, he's waiting. He might be leads the observer into the photon cannon and gets picked off. Great there. That's just and he actually went. Put this in order. He takes an expansion, picks off the observer, and that's gonna probably get the advantage that Imidri had because he has no vision of where the army is or what the composition is. We do see a robotics play coming up for Imidri at this time.
Yeah, Google's in absolutely commanding position right now. Looking at his resources, he actually has an incredibly large amount of gas right now. He can start pumping out a lot of Dark Templar, building up a lot of Archons, and I definitely love the position that he's in. And of course, he's getting up his third base right now while his opponent is still stuck on one. And his opponent does have two bases, but of course one of them is mined out, and he actually has finished mining out one of the gas in his main. So he's basically sitting on one base, whereas Google is about to be sitting on two, getting that +2 ground weapons while his opponent is getting the +1 ground weapons up. Definitely really love the position Google's in right now, and I gotta say, I think Google is going to win this game.
Oh yeah, hands down. I mean, you would think that, you can never judge it from the beginning. I mean, you would think that he was going to lose, but just because of the beginning attack, he was so far behind there, and then you just see him come back with this, and you're just like, oh, alright, that's pretty cool. I mean, he just came back, and then now he's in, like you said, he's in such a commanding position in the game. I mean, the army or the supply count is similar, but if you look at the army value, oh my bad, let me pull up what am I doing? There we go. If you look at the army supply, it does favor Imidri, but the worker supply is favoring Google right now. So there is those two trade-offs there. A little probe sneaking in here, coming in for Imidri. Just gonna put down a proxy pylon. Just accidentally cancel it. He's gonna move it somewhere else. Ninja says, if OJ made a shrine, he'd have won a while back. And it's like you were saying, Erratic, if he had gotten his own dark shrine, I think he would have had a better advantage. He might have actually won the game at that point, because Google has no detection, or any mobile detection, that is, because he doesn't even have his robotics band. He is getting his +2 attack at this time.
Yeah, his +2 attack about to finish. Google definitely in a very good position. The third base for Imidri is just starting to come online, it's just about to finish. Still going to be a little while before it comes online, but of course Google is starting to push out now with this very intimidating army. Looking at this Archon count, he actually has 7 Archons. That's an incredibly large amount of Archons, and he's sitting on a ton of gas, so he's going to be able to reinforce with a lot more Archons too. I gotta say, I worry greatly. Oh man, all these pros are walking out right into the army, and they're going to get all completely slaughtered.
And if you look at that,
that is probe death right there. That is genocide to the probes.
Oh my goodness, so many probes just got picked off.
Imidri walking out, and this army is starting to attack. He does have 1 Colossus and a few Archons, but the army for Google is so much bigger and so better upgrade with the +2 ground. And I gotta say, this is absolutely destruction right now for Imidri. He's getting completely torn apart. Google barely loses anything and completely wipes out Imidri's army. This is definitely going to be the game right here, as Google just walks in, basically a formality at this point.
Yeah, and as you saw the probe count, I was watching and there's the GG from Moondry, but the probe count, like, if you looked at it, the probes killed, or the workers killed, went from like 10 straight to 22, and I was like, you just killed off 12 probes in just one hit, and that was the first thing that was just the indicator that, oh gosh, that just hindered Moondry so bad, and then now you just see that Google just army just decimated. So it goes to show that early game may or may not shape the later game.
Yeah, I'm going to be AFK here for a minute while they decide the map. I will be back in 1 minute. I apologize for the AFK, guys. You can start us off while I'm gone.
Well, Erraticus gone, so I'm just going to be talking again. I'm just going to ask what the next map is. Alright, Zone Life Caverns is the next map. We're just going to wait here. Let me just get up that. Alright, well, Google is inviting me to the game. Now, let's see.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
I did suggest you to the party, so I'm waiting for them to invite you. Max map, in case you didn't know, is going to be Zelnaga Caverns.
Ooh, Zelnaga, that is my favorite map of any of the maps available.
I know about you. You like to know Zelnaga. I'm just asking you to invite you real quick, because I don't want to start the game without you, because you are the streamer here.
Yeah, it's very important for the streamer to be involved in the game, because of course that's the only way you'll be able to actually see anything. I'm being told that my mic is getting a lot of feedback. Can anybody on the stream tell me if this is really happening?
Hang on, let me mute the voice for you on Skype and just say stuff and I'll let you know.
Okay, go ahead and let me know. It's a little strange. I wasn't having any problem at all earlier with feedback, so we'll see. So Drizzy, go ahead, look at stuff, let me know. Oh, it's Drizzy's mic. Oh, it's your mic, Drizzy. That's terrible. Not mine. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's not me. It's you, Drizzy. Hate to be the bearer of bad news there, buddy, but you need to get some better,
as I said,
better shit.
I do not have my normal... Yeah. I don't have my normal headset, man, I gotta say. So I think the reason was I was holding the mic really close to my face, so I'll change it. I just my mic I use for like rapping and stuff, and it does have the film cover in front of it usually. It doesn't right now, so just let's keep going.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am PGC Erratic. Here with me is
Jonas.
We are casting Game 2 of the semifinals match between Google, who is spawning here in the bottom left position as the red Protoss, and Amindri, who is spawning up here in the top right position as the orange Protoss. Google, of course, up 1-0 right now. And Amindri choosing to go with this map, Zelnaga Caverns, will be pretty interesting on this map. It is a fairly well-balanced map. Your natural is relatively easy to maintain, but of course expanding to a third gets very, very difficult. So, Drizzy, what do you think we're going to see here? Do you think we're going to see longer macro-oriented game, 2-base play like we did last time, into the 3-base? But we really didn't have 3 bases up for the last play. It was more of a 2-base kind of play. Do you think we're going to see that, or do you think we're going to see longer, more macro-oriented, or maybe just 4-gate pressure at the very start?
Well, you know, it's hard to tell on Zelnaga Caverns. There's so many places where you can put a proxy pylon that it's hard to tell whether someone will go 4-gate just because Google is in a pretty good position right now. I mean, he's probably pretty confident because he just won that first game. I mean, he was cut down so far. He's cut so far down in the beginning of the game, and then he just brought it back, and that might just like that's just such a huge confidence booster. So right now he may be feeling okay. I might try to, but the thing is he doesn't want to get too cocky, so he may try to do some early aggression like 4-gate, but not sure. He might go for his normal build that he does, which is kind of delay his warp gate just a little bit. And instead of getting a 1 gateway, 1 cybernetic score, he may go 1 gateway, cybernetic score, and then another gateway.
Yeah, it will be pretty interesting. Google is stuck with a pretty similar theme throughout most of the tournament, getting those Archons up, loving that Archon play, and of course the Dark Templar very early on are very effective. So will be interesting to see if we see Google go with that similar approach, or if he decides to go for a longer term, less Archon focus. Well, maybe go for Coloxen, or Colossi, big units with giant legs that step on shit. Those things.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Colossus are just, they're just amazing in every matchup. I mean, versus Terran, Fireball, Colossus are the answer. Versus Protoss, Mass Gateway, Colossus is the answer. Versus Zerg, pretty much every unit except for Muta and Roach, really.
Even Roaches, man.
I mean, the Roaches are armored.
That Roach Hydra Ball you take down with Mass Coloxen.
Yes, but the thing is, actually, yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, whenever I see Colossus out, I kind of just go Roach Mutiling, and that kind of raffle stomps it.
Yeah, but while we're talking about this, we do see that Amindri is getting up 3 gateways, going for that 4-gate. There's 3 on the way, stopping pro production at 20 in the commonplace. And we will see if Google's going to be able to defend this. He has 2 gateways of his own, but his warp gate research is behind by a full minute. That's 2 rounds of gateways. That's 8 stalker difference right there. That is going to be absolutely huge.
We have seen that Google does this like in most of his games, where like his warp gate is very delayed. And we do see, one stalker from the Mega taken out by these 2 stalkers from Google. And another 3rd stalker from Google is coming down, and I think he's just trying to distract him by warping into proxy pylons at the same time.
Sacrifices a stalker for absolutely no reason, warps in those pylons, wasting resources there. I gotta say, I really don't like that play. Oh, he lets the pylon finish. That's 100 resources pretty much down the drain. Whatever comes in here is not going to be able to defeat this army.
Oh, but he has 3 stalkers against 2 stalkers and a zealot, so that may do something. But no, Google has 3 stalkers of his own, and he has that 1 zealot. So the zealot could be the fodder fire in case the stalkers try to kite it, and then the other stalkers could just kind of pick their way off. And his supply box at 27, 26. And if you look at the resources lost, he is far behind at 575 compared to 225 lost resources because of those 2 pylons that he had to cancel. And if you cancel, you do not gain the full 100% of what you invested back.
Yeah, he is pretty far behind. Lost a stalker there, and he was actually warping in a zealot, and the pylon died while it was warping in. Of course, if something's warping in and the pylon dies, whatever was warping in dies too. So Amindri did lose quite a bit to that. A little unfortunate, but we do see that Amindri is sitting at 6 stalkers and a zealot against 4 stalkers, 2 zealots, and a sentry. So both armies are fairly similar right now, but I think Google is in pretty good shape right now.
Yeah, it seems as if Google, throughout, it seems like he has the upper hand, and then there's just some little bit things that kind of kept him out. He used putting the force field. Might pick. Gonna get that high. He has that high ground vision, so he can't pick off that proxy pylon there. He needs to keep his zealots out of the way so they don't get picked off by these stalkers. And he has another sentry, so he could force field one more time. And there's the force field gonna pick off all of these units that came into the base of Google, and those units had a sad day. But these 2 stalkers are doing a lot of damage here.
They're not really picking off anything, unfortunately. It looks like Google is going to just clean up most of this army here. Definitely don't like the position that Amindri is in right now, but he's going to keep reinforcing, keep trying to push in, but I got to say, I think that Google has done a fine job of holding this off.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. There's only 3 zealots left, and Google can hold it off with the army that he has, obviously. There is 2 stalkers, 2 zealots streaming in, but honestly, that's not going to be enough. And if Google decides to push out of this moment, I think he has the game.
Yeah, Google is pushing out a little bit, but I don't think he's going to push forward too much, because of course he doesn't have a proxy pylon of his own setup, so he's not going to be able to reinforce nearly as fast as Amindri can. I don't like Amindri warping in more units here. Really don't like that at all. That seems like a complete waste of resources to get involved in a fight here when he's so far behind in terms of army size.
Yeah, and I think what Google is sensing that since he saw these warping right here, he knows that immunity cannot get any units for like maybe a good 10 or so seconds. Actually, not even 10. Actually right now, maybe 20 seconds or so. Let's just say